Okay. So let's take a look at question 5. The next question is y equals sine 2x divided by x cubed. Do you remember what the first step is? Identify which rule you're using, and in this case I'm using the quotient rule because it's a function of x divided by another function of x. Okay, identify u and v. U is always the one at the top, so u equals sine 2x. V is always the function which is the denominator, so x cubed. Second step is to differentiate both du by dx. Okay, let's remind ourselves, sine cos minus sine minus cos. You differentiate this way, so sine differentiates into cos, right? Now sine kx differentiates into k cos kx. In this case, k is 2, so it's going to be 2 cos 2x. Sine kx differentiates into k cos kx, and k in this case is 2. And then dv by dx is drop the power, decrease the power by 1, 3x squared. And then I apply the quotient rule. Dy by dx is equal to v times du by dx, so x cubed, so 2x cubed cos 2x minus v times 3 times dv by dx, so 3x squared sine 2x divided by v squared, so x cubed all squared. Okay, and again, you can simplify it. You can take x squared from the top and then obviously simplify it. Common factor from the numerator. Let's take a look at the next question. And the next question is 6. And we have y equals 1 minus 3x divided by 2x plus 3 whole squared. First question you're going to ask yourself is, which rule am I using? Chain product or quotient? And in this case, you are using the quotient rule. And I am using the quotient rule because it's a function of x divided by another function of x. Rules of the quotient rule. First step is to identify which is which. And always u is the numerator. V is denominator. What do you do next? Differentiate both du by dx. Differentiate with respect to x. When you differentiate 1 minus 3x, what do you get? The 1 differentiates into 0, and then minus 3, and then the x will disappear because it's going to be x to the power of 1. Decrease the power, it becomes x to the power of 0, which is invisible, it's 1. So du by dx is minus 3. And then dv by dx. Now, which rule am I using to differentiate this function? And I'm thinking of the quick chain rule. If you can't remember the quick chain rule, please watch the video on the chain rule. What do? Just a recap. You drop the power, you drop the 2, decrease the power of the bracket. So instead of 2, it becomes 1. And then multiply by the derivative of what's inside the bracket. Or in other words, basically differentiate the bracket. And when you differentiate the bracket, 2x is 2, and the plus 3 will disappear. So the answer would be 4 2x plus 3. Okay. Next, we apply the quotient rule. dy by dx is equal to v multiplied by du by dx, so minus 3 2x plus 3 all squared minus 4 2x plus 3 multiplied by 1 minus 3x. I'm applying the quotient rule, just substituting into the formula that is at the top of this document. Divided by v squared, so 2x plus 3 all squared, and then square that, so to the 4. And again, you can take 2x plus 3 to the common factor from the numerator and simplify it with the denominator. But we're going to leave that for now. Let's take a look at the next question. We're on 7 now. Y equals x cubed divided by cos 3x. Which rule am I using? Quotient. Why? Because I'm dividing. U is equal to x cubed. V is denominator, which is cos 3x. Differentiate both. Du by dx is 3x squared, decrease the power, drop the power, and then decrease the power. dv by dx, and let's draw the same diagram again. Sine, cos, minus sine, minus cos, and we're looking at cos kx. So cos kx differentiates to minus k sine kx. So k in this case is 3, so minus 3 sine kx. And k is 3. So cos differentiates into minus sine. And then next, apply the quotient rule, dy by dx is equal to v multiplied by du by dx, so 3x squared multiplied by cos 3x minus minus, so this is going to become a plus. Why? Because it's a minus minus. Okay, and then u multiplied by dv by dx, so I'm going to have 3x cubed sine 3x divided by v squared, so cos 3x all squared. And you can simplify it further if you want to. Let's take a look at the next question. If you feel I'm going too fast, you can always stop the video and recap some parts of it if you want to. Y equals 4 sine 2x divided by 2x cubed. Okay, quotient rule. I'm using the quotient rule because it's a function of x divided by another function of x. U is always the numerator, so 4 sine 2x. V is always the denominator, which is 2x cubed. Differentiate both, du by dx. Now 4, leave the 4 alone, and you're differentiating sine. Let's write them down, sine, cos, minus sine, minus cos. So sine differentiates into cos. So sine kx differentiates into k cos kx. So k is 2, so 2 cos 2x, which gives 8 cos 2x. 4 times 2 is 8. Let's take a look at the next one. dv by dx. Straightforward. Leave the 2 alone and then differentiate with respect to x, meaning you only differentiate the x. So it's 3x, drop the 3 into 2, decrease the power, which is 6x squared. 2 times 3 is 6. And then you apply the quotient rule. So you will go dy by dx equals v times du by dx. So 2 times 8 is 16 x cubed cos 2x minus u times dv by dx. So 6 times 4 is 24 x squared sine 2x divided by v squared, which is 2x cubed all squared. So it's 4x to the 6. And again, we can simplify it if you want to. Okay, let's take a look at the next question. Y equals 7 ln 3x divided by x squared. You need to ask yourself, which rule am I using? And which one? We've got to divide, so it must be the quotient rule. And then you identify u is always the number at the top, numerator. V is always the denominator. Differentiate both. Du by dx equals. Leave the 7 alone because I'm differentiating with respect to x. That's why we have a dx at the bottom, because we're differentiating with respect to x. So I don't differentiate the 7. 7 is constant. Now, earlier on in this video, we have differentiated ln to 2x. And what did we get? 1 over x. So ln 3x differentiates into 1 over x. Or you can use the chain rule if you want to. And then dv by dx is 2x. Okay, let's apply the quotient rule. Substitute into the formula. It's always in the formula book. V times du by dx, so 7 over x multiplied by x squared minus u multiplied by dv by dx. So u multiplied by dv by dx. So I'm going to go 2 times 7, which is 14x ln 3x. Divided by v squared, which in this case is x squared all squared, so x to the 4. And you can simplify, obviously, this section and tidy it up if you want to. Okay. So let's take a look at the final question we are going to do together. Y equals 4x to the 5 divided by e to the 3x. The first thing you need to think, which rule am I using? It's a divide, and therefore I am using the quotient rule. Identify u and v. U is always the one at the top, numerator. V is always the denominator, all the time. Du by dx is, drop the 5, so 5 times 4 is 20. X, decrease the power of the 5 by 1, 4. dv by dx. When you differentiate e to the kx, you get k e to the kx. In this case, k is 3. So you get 3 e to the 3x. Finally, apply the quotient rule. dy by dx equals v times du by dx, so 20 x to the 4 e to the 3x minus 3 times 4 is 12, x to the 5 e to the 3x. It's minus u times dv by dx, so I multiply 3 by the 4, which is 12. Leave the x to the 5 alone and e to the 3x alone. Divided by v squared, so e to the 3x squared. And again, you can simplify it. You can take e to the 3x common factor from the numerator and simplify it with the denominator. And that's the end of today's video. I hope you have found it useful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.